I didn't mean come on, but all right. Shalom there, gentlemen. You okay? All right, y'all. We give praise and esteem and honor to the Most High in the name of His only Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Pick it up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Bird. Remember him in that water bottle over that bird? Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. And you will not come that you might have life. I receive not honor from him, but I know you, that you have not the love of Allah in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor? One of them seek not the honor that comes from Allah only. Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. But had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Proverbs 15 and 28. There is no best book to me. It's all the same. It's all the same word. But I understand that's how you see it. That's how you see it. I'm not knocking you. Just me. It's all the same word.
So you don't have a favorite verse?
It's all the same word. 15 and 28.
28. All right.
No, we have go-to verses for specific reasons. No, I ain't got no favorite book like that. But you gotta remember, I don't approach the book as the average person is going to approach it. I approach it a tad bit differently. Oh, we got a connection issue. I gotta wait for that to slide and they can hit me. All right, come on, let's get it. Proverbs 15, 28. The heart of the righteous study that, but the mouth of the wicked pour out evil things. We talked about that Wednesday. Does anybody recall what that means? That the heart of the righteous study to answer. Does anyone recall what that word study means? It's used in Yahushua Son of Nun, chapter 1, verse 8. It's used in Psalms 1 and 1. It means to meditate. What did Yahushua tell you not to do in the day that you would be persecuted? Don't meditate on it. You don't got to think about no word, because I'm going to give you one. But he said the righteous study the answer, or they meditate on the word to be able to give a proper answer. Remember, we went through that, is that when they came at the Lord, he knew the word, he had them thought on it, he could hit them across their head with it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not hitting people across the head with it as far as what's done in this present time, which is in regards of let me cut you with these scriptures of this, that, and the third. These were hypocritical men who were sizing him. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to look at that. He didn't have a desire, let me walk through the streets and cut people up. These men brought this folly to him. And then therefore he let them know what he told them in Matthew 22 that we read when they came at him talking about whose wife is that going to be in the resurrection? What's the first thing he told them?
He told them in the resurrection, you not.
That's not the first thing he told them. He said, you do err. First thing he told them is, you don't know what you're talking about.
Get up.
That's the first thing he told them. And he was telling them that not to cut him, because they were sizing him about something. Whose wife is this going to be? Shalom, man, in the resurrection. And he would let them know, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the power of Elohim. You ought to keep your mouth closed. That was his point. His point was, y'all don't understand everlasting life while you coming at me asking me these stupid questions. I meditate on the word, meaning I have an answer to give you what you need to live forever. Pay attention to the nuance. See, a lot of people get caught up. You're not paying attention to the nuance. You know what I'm saying? See, I done told y'all this before. You have one-dimensional thinkers, which are the dumbest people on the planet, about as smart as a slug. The average person, the two-dimensional thinker, they only can see what's right in front of them. Then you have people who are three-dimensional thinkers. They're looking at the totality of everything that is happening in the situation. They're asking critical questions. Why did this happen like this? Why did this go like this? Why did he say that? And then, of course, four-dimensional, you thinking according to the word. And that's how you analyze situations. The average person thinks based, and when you talk about two-dimensional in layman term, You're carnal. You're emotional. You look at things from an emotional standpoint. Case in point, just because I was listening to the dude talk about it, the situation with Deshaun Jackson and Nick Cannon, everybody reacted to that emotionally. You didn't look at it at the totality. As soon as I seen that happen with the both of them, because I know what I know this is a shaming ritual. They're doing this for a specific purpose. Because these people work for them. They step and fetch for these people. Deshaun Jackson plays for a Jewish owner. You know what I'm talking about? So all we looking at is, yeah, they know we Israelites and they getting mad. That's not their point. That's not their point. Because they really don't care. You think they care that anybody, they don't care. That doesn't affect them because that doesn't work righteousness. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't do anything that's going to affect them bottom line. If 20 million black folks stood out here and say we Israelites, what is that going to do to the people? What is that really going to do?
No.
Absolutely nothing. You know why they ain't going to do nothing? Because you still going to the DMV. You still going to get your business occupational license. You still going to Walmart. You still going to Publix. You still going to their job. You ain't doing absolutely nothing. So that doesn't concern them. What concerns them more than anything is if you sit back and say that, for lack of a better term, I'm going to identify culturally with the culture that comes from heaven and live according to that and denounce and stand for anything that goes against that, then that's a problem. Because why did Herodias want to kill John the Baptist? Did she want to kill John the Baptist because he was an Israelite?
Nope.
What did she want to kill him for?
Because he was testifying of the word.
Because he looked the dead in the face and said it's not lawful for you to marry your brother's wife. You can't do that. That's what the problem was. You can't do that. But I done told you this before. The brother said one thing real about Nick Cannon. You know what make Nick Cannon a sucker? Not because he apologized. It's because you could have just said, screw you. I'm going to stay over here and do my own thing. I don't want your fame. Screw your money. And I'll just eat independently over here. That's what make him a sucker, because you still want to step, fetch, and answer. See, when you own and control your own stuff, you never have to apologize. You know, Dame Dash can get on Dame Dash Duty in studio and say whatever he wants. Who's going to cancel him? Nobody can stop you. But when you want to see, most niggas want to be famous. See, most of y'all want to be on TV and see your face on the billboard and your name in bright lights, so you'll step and fetch. But when you own your own, you can do what you want, to say what you want, when you want, how you want. That's why Yahushua did what he did. It's my earth. You my creation. I can do what I want, when I want, and I can say what I want. And I ain't apologizing to nobody. That's the difference between having a mind of a ruler and the mind of a victim. See, victims apologize. You see, you don't apologize for telling the truth. If I told you the truth, I ain't apologizing for it. For what? That means I wasn't telling you the truth, and I didn't. No, I'm not apologizing for that. You have to keep that in mind. What was I going at after this? No, I'm still in 15, 20, and 28. He said, but the mouth of the wicked pour out evil things. Yahuwah is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayers of the righteous. The light. Oh, that's right. We was in verse 26 last night. Now, y'all recall about the words of pure or pleasant words? Who recalls what that word for pure is? Who recalls what that is? The Hebrew word for pure. See, we talk about how the thoughts of the wicked are abomination. That means their plans, their plots, their devices, things they like to do. Remember, you already know that. He told you that. An abomination to him is those who devise wicked imaginations and feet who swift to run into evil. People who like to do wicked, they like to pull strife and contention. See, come over here to Matthew chapter 5 real quick. Martha, no. Really?
And that's the same
thing
with the Lord.
She's still ready. Oh, they were talking. They weren't playing, but they never was talking.
So that's the same thing they do to the Lord. They devoured the wicked.
Of course.
They plotted wickedness, and then they.
Yeah, we talked about that last night.
Yeah,
we talked about that last night. I told you that last week. Yeah, we talked about that last night.
So that he was being wicked all the time.
I mean, that's obvious. You can't tell.
Yeah, I can tell.
You know why they were wicked? They were envious. They wanted to do what he was doing. That's why the book say, "Who can stand against envy?" Somebody envy you, they'll kill you. They want to be you. Why you think y'all so mad with them white folks talking about Black Lives Matter? You envious of them because you want their validation. Before I was ever in the word, bro, ain't nobody have to tell me nothing. I don't need to be validated by anybody, and I'm not begging somebody to accept me for what. I know I couldn't have been living in the city because I'm not going to protest to take a dump in the same toilet. Screw your toilet. I don't want to eat at your table. I don't want to drink at your water fountain because that's just me. If you don't want to fool with me, then I don't want to fool with you. Period. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna beg you for what? People beg for validation when they have low self-esteem.
Also, keep in mind, Black Lives Movement, the European guy.
Oh yeah, George Soros. Shalom, bro. Word, no doubt, no doubt. We went through that. We read them their manifesto. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even about Black Lives Matter. Black people as a whole want to be validated by Caucasians. That's why you scream about being equal. You know what I'm saying? Because you want him to see you as the same as him. There's no race of people on the earth that ask for equality. That should let you know something. You know what I'm saying? About our mentality. The mentality, you're not thinking like a ruler. You're thinking like a slave. When that white man tell you your life matter, you know how many black folks will jump up and down and scream and be happy? They'd rather have the validation of a man than have a validation of their maker. That's the sad part.
Yep. So right about that.
That's the sad part. But Matthew chapter 5, right? We pick it up in verse 1 on general.
They wonder why we're going through what we're going through.
I mean, we're going through what we're going through because of sin. You're not going through what you're going through because of wanting to be validated by white people. Because of your sin, you've been bust across your head, and now you're seeking validation from them because you don't have any desire to know your maker, to be validated. I told y'all tonight, man, it's not about how many precepts you can memorize or this, that, and the third. It's you're taking the time to get to know someone. This is the book of Yahuwah. That means this is a witness that he left for you to know who he is. You have to approach it like you're learning who this man is. And when you learn how he is, that means you know how he thinks. You know how he operates. You know what he likes. You know what he dislikes. And if you sent you his wife, it's a woman's duty to know what her husband likes and do it. And not to do what he dislikes. Because then you're stupid. And then when I say stupid, meaning Proverbs 14:1, a fool plucketh down her house. Because you're destroying your own house when you do that. You're not building your house when you know your husband don't like A, B, C, D, and then you do that. The book of Yahuwah said you are a foolish woman. You're destroying your house. Your whole duty for what you were created for was to assist him in the building of his house.
So that's why you was telling me I was sitting up there studying with the Israelites that they were teaching me scriptures to debate and not.
But you acknowledge that. You already know. They were teaching you to stand out there in the corner and make a jackass out yourself. And then go home and talk about, boy, we preaching truth, boy, we picking people up. No, you just setting yourself up to go to hell. That's what you're doing, you and your whole group. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't winning no souls. Where's the wisdom in that? It takes skill to win a soul. Right. Standing on the corner yelling at people talking about Esau, the white America's going to be destroyed, and you an Israelite, what have you actually done? You haven't done anything. But guess what? When I walk away from you, do I know my Elohim afterwards? No. Do I have any faith and hope in him? No. Do I know what he promised me? No. Do I know how he want me to behave? No. So that's what I'm going to go off and do. I'm going to walk off, and I'm going to be the same person that I was before I talk to you. And I'm going to behave in the same fashion that I've been behaving, and I'm going to get the same reward that I have been earning. Because you know where you're going to go at, Robert. You know about the Valley of Tophet? See, you wasn't on there last night, so you don't know.
The Valley of Tophet.
Tophet. Johnny, tell him about the Valley of Tophet, Johnny.
He breathed the fire in the Tophet. He kindled a flame in the Tophet.
He ain't say nothing about kindling the flame, but you close enough. Himnam, Tophet, Jehoshaphat, Armageddon. You know what Tophet mean?
No.
You was right online with it. You ain't know. Place of fire.
Fire. Yeah, ain't that the lake of fire, Tophet?
Yeah, Valley of Himnam. South of Jerusalem. That way you say, I'm going to take you down there, and I'm going to plead with you face to face. Brother Dab told you know if Yahuwah pleading with you face to face, what's going to happen?
He's finna die.
Somebody finna die, but they got you thinking you finna go to the wilderness. And he finna teach you again. He ain't finna teach you again.
Actually, it ain't no bleed. It's judge.
That's what the word bleed mean in that verse. That's what it means.
You know, talking about bleed, but I'm a judge.
Come on, man. Matthew 5:1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Now, we kind of talked about that last night in Psalms 119. I got another one out of Psalms 119. We're going to look at it again. We might do two of them if you will permit. You know what I'm talking about? When you poor in spirit, what are you? I mean, you humble in spirit. Poor in that here don't mean in regard to being impoverished. But poor in spirit, you have a humble spirit. What did he tell you? You got to be like what? A child, right? Children have humble spirits for the most part, unless you don't let them be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, meaning that they have a desire to please their parents. They have a desire to humble themselves into the instruction of their parents. And he said, theirs are the kingdom of heaven. Because if you ain't got a humble spirit, what do he say, how he feel about the proud? What do he say he do?
Oh, he removed the proud.
No, he don't remove them.
No, he abased them.
That doesn't destroy him. He said he resists them. Oh, so if you resist somebody, it means he's not proud. So therefore, you're contrary to him. He is going to be contrary to you. He's not fooling with you. He said he give grace unto the humble. We just talked about grace last night. That's kindness. He showed favor to them. But you have to humble yourself to the word. You can't humble yourself to the word. What are he going to do? What can he do with you? At the end of the day, right, what can you do with a hard-headed, stubborn woman? What could you do with her?
Plead with him.
I ain't going to plead with him. Put out my house.
No. You know what I mean. No. Yeah.
I know what you meant.
Plead, like what you just said. He gonna plead with you face to face. Plead with the heathen face to face.
One thing I'm gonna be honest with you, man. On a natural level, you can't plead with a hard-headed woman. You know why you can't? Because the more you plead with her, the less she'll respect you. Because she already know you out of pocket.
I'm talking about judging her and say, hey, you got the
you ain't got to tell her she got to go. You got to let her be known that you ain't gonna be broken if she leave. Yeah. If you leave, my life is not gonna be adversely affected.
Because the Lord ain't gonna be broken with completely.
I'm just saying that's what brings respect. Yeah. She's not gonna baby, please stop acting like this. I want you to love me. She this whole nigga here. That's how her mind gonna click. She's not going to respect you. If you let it be known, hey, I'm not gonna tolerate this. And if this is what you're gonna do, you gotta go to your mammy house. Shoot, you can go to Saul's Barker for all I care, but you got to go. She ain't gonna have no choice but to be stubborn in her rebelliousness and leave, or see that you a man of honor and respect what you're talking about and convert her behavior.
Same thing that the Lord does.
You know what I'm saying?
Same thing that the Lord does.
Verse 4, right? Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Elohim. And blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of Elohim. Now, see, we talked about this last night. What is the thing that it said that the perverse like to do? They like to sow discord. That word means strife or contention. Those who are Elohim do not sow strife and contention. You know what I'm saying? See, come over here to what it is, James chapter 3. What I want, James 3 and 13. That's not just respect, man. James 3 and 13. You don't want to deal with people who don't respect you. Right. That ain't got nothing to do about just being with a woman. You don't want friends or family who don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? The junk ain't gonna end well. You have to demand your respect. You can demand your respect and not be disrespectful. But people have to know that you will not tolerate it. I'm a man. I will not tolerate it. See, that's why the world out of whack, because men tolerate disrespectful behaviors towards them. And I'm talking about black men specifically. You know what I'm saying? You can't tolerate that. You have to let that be known. I will not allow it. I will not allow it. And I don't care who you are. See, this is what it is while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to get to it in a moment. This here will allow me to do so. No, because I already had this set up. So y'all better back on here and get you what you call them things, your gears turning in your brain. Because I got something for you.
All right.
Who is a wise man and do with knowledge among you? Let him show out of good conduct his works with meekness of wisdom. What does that mean? You don't have to go deep in all this. Just what does that mean? That he's asking you. Who is a wise man and do with knowledge among you? Let him show out of good conduct his works with meekness of wisdom.
I guess it means that out of his conversation, you can tell what type of individual.
Not conversation, literally. That's why I said conduct.
Conduct. Okay, you can tell by his actions whether he's wise and he's meek, right?
To an extent. Anyone else? To an extent. To an extent. Huh? Got Bachi? Huh? What is it? What is it? What is this verse trying to impart? 13 of the third chapter of the Epistle of James. Hey. Don't get yourself in trouble, cuz. You got a fresh cut, your fade's on point. I hate to see you crying. Yeah, not right now, but I don't want to see you crying. And to an extent, that is correct as well.
Ain't this talking about where he said that you will know each tree by its fruit?
To an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent. But no, what's the word for wisdom? Everyone.
Skill.
And that's skill. So now he said, and do with knowledge. What knowledge is he referring to?
Knowledge of his son.
Knowledge of his son. Because when you look at and do, who's a wise man and do or given knowledge? He said, now that this person's been given knowledge, let him out of his good conduct with his actions, so humility in his skill. Now we can take that back to certain things that the Lord did, where he did that, where he showed his good conduct with his skill, with humility. And when the people came to size him, who should we give this money to? See, the humility of his skill, give unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, give unto Elohim what is Elohim's. Or what I mentioned before, when they came back, whose wife is she going to be? See, you do err. Not knowing it. See, that's what he's talking about. See, you can have knowledge, but then you don't have the skill to show humility in your conduct. Because wisdom is about skill, knowing what to do, when to do it, what to say, when to say it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have wisdom. See, a lot of people, I done told him this before. Just because what you're saying is correct, don't mean you should have said it. Because we already know that when they had the Lord accosted, how many times did he talk? He didn't talk. He could have said a lot of things. Say it for what? It's not the time for it. I'm showing the meekness of my wisdom in my conduct by not saying something to you. Because what point is that going to prove? See, you only want to prove stuff to people when you really ain't confident in yourself. It's really vanity in your own mind. So you feel like you ain't Mike Tyson. You can't throw punches that fast. You know what I'm saying? Let him have that. Because in the end, what did he tell you? Put your trust in he who judges righteously. He'll vindicate you in the end. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't be caring. I done told you, this niggas I ain't never met before in my life. But I heard about you. You crazy. Well, shoot, your mama crazy too. Shoot, she had you. She got to be crazy.
Another thing I found out what you told me. I found out that no matter if you right or what, people still gonna do what they do.
I've been told you that. But see, I learned that just living. People gonna do what they want to do. People gonna do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Well, I remember one time, and y'all have mercy on the soul because he dead now. My homeboy came to me and my homeboy Chris. He like, yeah, boy, let me hold the fire. I said, hold the fire for what? He tell us so. I said, nah, boy, don't get that nigga that gun, boy. He said, that's my homeboy. I said, boy, don't you get that nigga that gun, boy. And you know what he did? Gave that nigga that gun. And you know what happened? He caught 5 years in the state penitentiary where he died at. You know what I'm saying? Because when he decided, I said, boy, don't you give him that gun, boy. I said, this here ain't going to end up right. Tell me he got the weed. Boy, left out of there with no weed, Xbox, and 3 games, boy. That cost you 5 years of your life and you died there. Because people going to do what they want to do. I told him, boy, don't get that boy that gun, boy. That don't sound real broke too. So he like, shoot, we don't rob, but we'll listen. We will entertain your folly right now. Let's see if this is a viable scheme. Once he went to breaking it down, I said, this ain't Bible. I don't want no parts of this here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go ahead. We just gonna thug it out. I'm gonna get me another bomb, boy. We just gonna go back down there and get it right. I can't do this here. This like what, 2003? I said, yeah, but we can't do this. I can't do this here. I said, I can't do this here, boy. This don't sound right. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, this was like 04. Because he died in 05. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you can't do that. But that's how that stuff goes. You got to have skill. Let's continue. He said, but if envying and strife in your hearts, esteem not and lie not against the truth. And that's what a lot of people see. That's what them scribes was doing. Every time they stepped to Mashiach, they had envy and strife in their heart. So they thinking they esteem the Elohim, but in reality, you lying against the truth, because you lying to me if you think that's how that man operates. What he got to be envious for? Who envious of? Envious somebody for what? That's how you, as a man, it's three things that you should never be. You should never be in your feelings. You should never be there. You know what I'm saying? Never be in your feelings. You can have feelings. You don't need to be in them. There is a difference. I told you that too many times. You can be sad. You can be upset. You don't need to move in and pull the bed spread over your head and say, I'm in my feelings. Now you in whole nigga territory. You need to get out of there. Escape. Run away. You know why that's going to happen? No man will respect you. And if you got a woman, she certainly ain't going to respect you. And it's going to mess up the level of trust that your children will have in your ability to guide them. If they always see, man, daddy always emotional, they're not going to respect your authority. You know what I'm saying? You have to know how to manage your emotions. And if your emotions get too much, you don't run over there and lean on your wife. Because when she going through something, she knows she can't lean on you. You take that to your brother and you talk to them. And you lean on them. Don't take that to your wife. Look at their shoulders. Their shoulders ain't broad. They ain't meant to carry them type of loads. Take that to the men and let the men help you navigate through that. Don't be no fool and try to do it by yourself. Not if you know you ain't built that strong. Y'all know y'all can't deal with that. You know, if a nigga come to y'all all emotional crying, you can be like, oh, I done married the wrong man. You ain't gonna say it out loud, but that's what you're gonna be thinking. That's what you're gonna be thinking. And now see, we know now. We know now. We know how you roll. See, ain't nobody tell us about y'all. Some of us had to learn through trial and error. See, we know how this is because you know when people been told if you're going through something, lean on your wife. She gonna be your support. No, she not. No, she not. She not gonna be your support. She gonna be like, oh man, he's a coward. See, they're not gonna tell y'all that. That's why they looking crazy right now. They're like, he ain't lying. That's what they saying in their brain. You know what I'm talking about? But they like this here. So when I'm going through something, I can't come to him. He ain't gonna be able to deal with it. I'm telling you, they're gonna start disrespecting. And you're gonna wonder where it's coming from. Why she talk to me like that? Why she snap back at me like that? You wondering why? Because she done lost respect for you. She's like, oh, I'm a lesbian now. I'm married to a woman. Why I told you that before, man? You'll never let your wife see you cry, boy. Go in the bathroom, man. You can cry, just go in the bathroom. Don't let her see it. Because she gonna tell all her homegirl, that nigga was in here crying. You done done it, didn't you? You dirty nigga.
That's one thing my daddy did tell me. Don't cry in front of a woman. Now I can tell you, my daddy did tell me that.
No, you don't cry in front of. It's only acceptable to cry in front of your woman if somebody done died.
Yeah. Yeah, my daddy. Now that's one thing I can.
If ain't nobody died, don't you do it. She ain't gonna respect it.
Yeah, that sorry nigga told me. That's one thing that sorry nigga told me. But you crying in front of a woman, son, don't let me catch you crying in front of a woman.
How he gonna catch
you? Because me and you, we gonna have it out. He's daddy now. You know,
he said, it's daddy now. Boy, you know you coming, boy. Verse 15. And he said, that daddy now.
He did tell me that. I ain't never did that.
No, I'm gonna tell you that because ain't nothing wrong with crying. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nothing wrong with it at all. You feel like you need to let a wolf tear come on out, a thug tear, whatever the case may be, go on, let him come on out.
Really, he said no. He said don't no man cry.
You know what I'm saying? Just a small trickle, little watery eyes. You know they get a little watery. You know what I'm saying? Little thug tear, ain't nothing wrong with it. Shoot, sometimes you got to do like the Lord did and well. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Don't let nobody tell you there's nothing wrong with it. Well, ain't nothing wrong with it.
My daddy said that man don't cry.
Well, your daddy told you a bold-faced lie. Like the Christian people say, Jesus wept.
Because he told me your daddy ain't never had to cry for nothing.
Yeah, but look where he had in life. And look where he had in life. So you can tell that that advice was not tangible. I'm here to tell you, if the Lord cried, boy, you can shed you a tear, my nigga. You understand me? He should have cried. You hear me? I ain't being funny now. We don't hear it cry. I ain't being funny, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If somebody tell you that a man shouldn't cry, he lying to you. You just don't cry in front of your wife. You can cry in front of your kids. You know what I'm saying? And it depends what you're crying about. Who, me? Shoot, it's been a long time.
Now I don't been pissed off and I get tears.
No, it's been a long time. I shoot, if I was, I wouldn't have no problem telling you so there.
But what about, like, I don't been pissed to the point where I
don't get that.
And my
I mean, some people
that's the only time I really just start shaking.
I mean, ain't nothing anybody can do to get me that angry. Because if I get that angry, that means somebody's harmed someone that I care about, and I ain't gonna show you that type of anger. I'm just gonna send you to your maker. If I'm able to send you to your maker in that moment. Ain't nothing nobody on this earth can do to get me that angry. Ain't nothing you can say to me that I'm gonna be that angry. It's just words. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the only time I don't share.
I mean, you're an emotional guy. You're an emotional guy. I mean, that's okay. The key point of the matter is, it's not about if you're emotional or not. It's how you handle it. It's how you handle it. You can get angry. What does the book tell you? Be angry and what? You know what I'm saying? So it's not about having the emotions. It's how you handle them. If you don't handle them properly, then your emotions get the best of you. That's why he told you that you have to mortify your members and put the flesh to death. Because the flesh is weak, the ruach is willing. The flesh likes to do things that are contrary to the will of Elohim. So therefore, you have to keep that in subjection. That's the point. I've been telling y'all that for years. You can be mad. You can be upset. You can be whatever. But that emotion cannot dictate how you react. That's part of the experience. Indeed. Amen. So that's my point. And I've been telling y'all that for years. You can have all the emotions you want to have. But the minute that you allow how you feel to dictate, see, that's the reason why a man can't be emotional, because the woman is emotional by nature. So how are you going to be able to help her understand and navigate through her emotions and your emotions? That's why she won't respect you, because she won't be able to trust you to guide her. She know you're supposed to guide her. She know you're supposed to lead her. She's looking for you to do it. And if you can't do it, she's not going to respect you. You don't have to be in the word for that. That's just nature, period. That's why I've been telling you. That's why I told you the same. If your stuff ain't right, don't get married. Because let your stuff be on point. And when your stuff be on point, she ain't got no choice to respect what you're talking about. Or shoot, go ahead and beat your feet and kick rocks. Straight up and down. She don't have no choice. If your money right, if your living situation right, if your whip right, she can't size you. See, if you broke, then she can sell out. But you knew he was broke when you married. So you can't sell out about that situation, but that's not how their mind works. They will tell you they backwards. They're going to tell you down is up and up is down and convince you that they right. And you're going to be the simpleton to sit there and argue with her to try to convince her that she's wrong. And that's what the flesh does versus the spirit. Because the spirit's telling you what's right and the flesh telling you that down is up. And you looking at it like down is up. Let me go ahead and touch that. Then you get burned and you're like, well, I thought down was up. No. Everything go back. Everything go back to the same thing. But at the end of the day, no, we gotta have your stuff together. When you got your stuff together, what can she say? What can she say? If she come through the door and she know that you paying every bill, whether she was here or not, what can she say? She ain't gonna be able to come in there and be like, oh, we're gonna be struggling to pay for this and struggling to pay for that. She don't be able to say nothing. I ain't struggling to pay for nothing. I just need you to come along for the ride and help me build some more wealth. Period. You know what I'm saying? But so you have to take that into consideration when I tell you that. Get your money right. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you can't never fool with it. I don't mean you got to be exponentially rich or nothing. You know what I'm talking about? But get your money right. Because, boy, when your paper ain't right, they're going to sell out. They're going to sell out. Ain't no matter if it's when. And you know whose fault that is? That's your fault. Because if your paper ain't right, you shouldn't be taking no woman seriously anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because she going to try it. You know why she going to try it? Because she want to be taken care of. It's in their nature. She don't want to take care of herself. She'll do it if she have to. But she want a man to take care of her. And she want to get her nails and hair done with her man. 3 and 15. Man, you supposed to let her do it. If she got her own money with you. Y'all the ones stupid enough to spend $200 on your hands and feet. Go on and spend it. You know what I'm saying? Go on and spend it. Don't worry about that. Woman shouldn't be having to worry about paying for room and board. She shouldn't be worrying about how to pay for no groceries. All she need to be worrying about is cooking the groceries. She shouldn't be worried about none of that. And like I told you, if you ain't married, you know, make sure you keep some boundaries now. I told you that the other day too. You need to stop going over there cleaning that nigga house too. You hear me? Stop going over there cleaning that nigga house. Who does that the landing? Used to be. Now it's in Mandarin. That nigga told me you be going over there cleaning his house. Stop going over there cleaning his house. No, I'm there. No. Well, shoot, go home. Because that's crossing the boundary. You're going to think that's your house. Then when you talk about let's get married, you're going to be like, well, nigga, I've been cooking and cleaning for you. See, he's supposed to stand up and say, put that broom down. You know what I'm talking about? Then you got to look at that nigga, well, if you don't want to clean your house, guess what? I ain't going to be. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. Because at the end of the day, that's not your husband. That's not your responsibility. It's one thing if, you know, every now and then, don't make it no habit. I already told that niggas tell you stop doing that. They come that she be cleaning up. I say, well, why you let her? Hey, that nigga looked like they was on the dating show. I understand. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a good attribute. We're not knocking the attribute. That's just not your husband. You're not obligated to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not your responsibility. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know different than if he was at your house. He ain't got no business paying no bills at your house. You know what I'm talking about? If he want to pay your light bill, he did it out of the goodness of his own heart. He don't owe you that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. You don't owe him cooking and cleaning. You don't owe him that. You don't have to do that. And to keep them boundaries tight, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Verse 15 though. He say this wisdom descend not from above, but is earthly, sensual, and devilish. Where envying and strife is, there's confusion in every evil work. So you know if there's confusion, guess who on the scene? But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Now we talked about last night that the wisdom or the words of the pure are pleasant words. We know the gospel is pure because it's the words of everlasting life. What did Peter say when Yahushua said, and y'all gonna lead through? What did Peter say? Where we gonna go? You got that word. So then it say it's peaceable. So y'all know what shalom, if it's peaceable, who ain't got no peace? So if the word is peaceable, then what will that cause you not to be? Then you turn around, it's gentle, and it's easily taught. How many of y'all done heard people talk the word you be like, well, I don't know what he's talking about. This is confusing.
My Israelite elder.
That boy be ready to throw somebody in the bus.
You should dig and shock you. Well, I was just saying dig and shock you. Well, I'm trying to go back to shocking. Yeah, dig and shock you, boy.
I can put you on the camera. I'm about trying to go back to memory lane.
Well, I'll be like, what did you just say?
You're the throwing slick. Throwing slick was
Yeah, he is. I'll see about him later.
And he said, Joseph and Mary had sex. And I said, what you say? He said, I'm going to explain it to you later.
Malia, fix your clothes, baby. Fix your clothes. You a lady. There you go.
Shock is something serious.
And then, of course, what are the good fruits? But what I'm specific, what are the good fruits?
Patience,
joy, patience, long suffering, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control, faith, love. That's what that word, the law don't give you that door.
Faith.
Do the law give you any of those things just mentioned? The law give you good and evil, right and wrong. That's the difference between the law and the, what did he tell you now? The law and the prophets will tell who? Now the kingdom of what is preached? And everybody press into that. But of course, you know, people thinking that you making a separation. I told you before, if you preach the law, what else are you going to be preaching? You can't preach. If you teach the law, if you're skilled enough, you should be teaching the gospel while you're teaching the law. They're one and the same. You can't have one without the other. If you preach the gospel, then you'll be teaching the law. You can't have one without the other. But the difference is that one gives life and one does not. Oh, that's nasty. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. Amen. So you have to sit back and look at that. The fruit of righteousness, which is faith, is sown by keeping things at peace. When you look at what Lot and Abraham went through, did he seek to keep the strife up, or did he seek to have peace? Even with Barnabas and Paul, they had an issue, but they sought to keep peace. I ain't going to sit here and keep arguing and fighting with it. That's not how you operate. Back to Proverbs 15, though. Proverbs. Why stop? I'm in verse 30. Now, the lights of the eyes rejoice the heart, and a good report. What do you think that means, that a good report makes your bones fat? And what does nourish mean? No, do you remember what nourish means? According to Ephesians 5, that's why I asked you that. Got to nourish your wife. Ain't that what he told you to do? To bring to maturity. But not in this instance, though. But I like that answer.
It says make the bones, so mature the bones, right?
No. Make the bones fat don't mean that. First thing when we look at fat, we'll talk about this here, right? It's the shin. Y'all remember that word? We didn't talk about it before. The shin means to be fat or to become prosperous or to be anointed. And you got Dalet, Shan, and Noon, and you can take off. Dalet, Shan, and Noon. That is correct. That is correct, bro. That's correct. Absolutely. More so it was in Romans 15 that the strong ought to support the weak and not to please themselves, and that you ought to edify one another, as you instruct one another. See, that's where the problem come in with a lot of people who deal with the word. They're trying to cut people's heads off. Like, yeah, it's so different. Some of y'all that came like, boy, you was out of pocket. You think, oh man, he gonna go off on me. I ain't gonna go off on you till it's about your 4th or 5th round. Because at that point, you're being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? But ain't no need to go off on you one time, not even twice. But shoot, once you start bending 4 or 5 times, well, you just a rebellious seed. So now you got to go ahead and get shamed. Maybe you'll learn how to do it. That is it. Do you pop the churn on their first act of defiance? No. Yeah, good Lord. That nigga ain't showing no mercy. I mean, you would crack people's head on the first, but for the most part, your first act of defiance, he don't swing through and bust your head. You know what I'm saying?
I thought he said warning come before destruction. I mean, so he always give you a warning before he come in and it be lights out. You know what I'm saying? The strong.
They said warning. Nigga said nigga warned you to back away from that table. Y'all got destroyed.
I had to, man. I wasn't even to warn you kids.
You remember that nigga told that boy, said that Popeye's on there, boy, they knew him by name. He said they had straight up. That's what he said.
I had the money already.
That boy say he walked through the door $9.95. He know what it is. And they say he came in there every day, 4-piece, 2 biscuits, no sides.
Plenty of hot sauce. And put a pepper with it.
Now you
Y'all think it being funny? He volunteered this info. I mean, everybody done been to a restaurant where they know what you want. I ain't never been nowhere where they already had it rang up. Oh, they see you come. They see you come.
They saw me crossing the street. Oh yeah, let's prepare that. Let's get it. So they already had it. So here y'all go. Appreciate you. How the chicken good with the pepper, bro? So yeah, I'll take a bite of that pepper, then take a bite of that chicken breast, and then take a bite of that pepper.
We said you straight out of the food channel.
That's how you know that boy eat chicken. That's how you know that boy eat chicken.
That's how you bite the pepper raw. Bite it raw.
Pause.
You know, always awesome places. I mean, whoa. I mean, whoa.
What are you talking about?
Hey, that's pride come before the struggle.
Yeah, he's talking about.
It's not warning, it's pride. Pride come before the struggle. Now, brother, hey, let's move past that because that just.
Hey, ladies down there, you let him fly by. You showed us almost
I did. But now we got to move on by. Now, brother Saran got what I would have came up with that Shin, which is to be paired to the sacrifice of life, because that is what is going to make you be prosperous. Remember what Proverbs 13, we talked about this a couple weeks ago? There's a man that maketh himself rich, yet has what? Nothing. There's a man who maketh himself poor, yet have what? Much riches. So, of course, you know that Yahushua made us rich through his what? His poverty. What did he impoverish himself in what capacity? He forsook his inheritance in heaven. Pulling a who? You could look at Moses in that regard. But Moses definitely did. Matter of fact, get Hebrews 11 for that. I know it's in your brain. Indeed. So he pulled an Esau. But you can look at Moses as well, because it said that Moses refused to be called who?
Son of Pharaoh.
And Yahushua refused to be called the son of Elohim. You know what I'm saying? Indeed. Come on around here to Hebrews 11. 11:24.
This weekend is good though.
Put that in your Bible. Put that.
Get on board a gift from Ron.
Yeah, I'm getting
Hebrews
on
11.
the
Shit, he got that straight drop.
Your number one customer.
Number one customer.
Oh, I'm getting high. The first and the third where it said.
That boy said it. See, I just told you, he wasn't on there last night. Ain't no first and the third. Well, my trap don't never close.
First to the 30th.
Don't never close. 360 days a year, boy.
Bring it out.
I mean, Hebrews 11:24. Make it 23. He said, by faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. So while we here, we don't like, didn't I say preach the law? Teach the law, you're going to do what? Now, don't that sound like the Lord? That's the Lord. What happened? Didn't they see that Yahushua was a proper child? Weren't they slaying kids during his time?
Yep.
Did not his parents take him to Egypt for a small season? Because they weren't afraid of who? They weren't afraid of the king's commandments. Let's keep on rolling up. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Elohim than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Now let's turn around and sit back and look at something that Paul made a statement on.
I love that.
Praise the Lord. Come over here to 2 Timothy chapter 1, I believe. From 2 Timothy chapter 1, we go to John chapter 18. Just from a statement from Yahushua on general principles. 2 Timothy chapter 1, pick it up at verse 8, if you would. You could take verse 7 on the house.
2 Timothy chapter.
Let's talk to you again.
You want to go upstairs? You want to go upstairs? Little cheese and baby. Little cheese and baby. Put that in trash. Key component, remember, a good report. Now we're gonna come back to that word good report because we've dealt with that before as well. But a good tidings, a good news is what makes you prosperous. So again, because we're talking about the gospel and the importance of such. Again, this is to denote the law. We know the law is good, but that's not a good witness for us. Because if I come to you, I done told you this before, and I'm just using this here just in case it's somebody who don't know. If I'm a covetous person, if I'm an idolater, if I'm a homosexual, if I'm a fornicator, if I'm an adulterer, if I'm a whoremonger, and you bring that to me, and you say, don't you know the law of God, say your blood on your hand, and you going to hell, that is not good news. That is not good news. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why we think in our minds that would motivate somebody to repent who don't know the man. Because what is their first impression of the man going to be?
No mercy.
He ain't got no mercy. Ain't nothing. So why would I respect him? I'm going to just keep on doing what I've been doing. But if you bring the gospel to them, not that, see, people get the gospel twisted up with the stuff they hear on Sunday. You have to learn to divorce yourself from lies and just focus on what is factual or truthful, if you would, which is the amunah, the amah. The amah, that's what you need to be focused on. Because I done keep telling you this here. The Lord told you this now, didn't he? He said he ain't come to bring what?
Peace.
But a what? Oh, so truth does not bring people together. It's going to separate. He's already told you this. See, we got it in our minds that truth will bring people together. In your life experience outside of the word, when is anyone telling the truth brought a bunch of people together? Never. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because everybody is not on the side of what is true. Some people love lies and believe lies and relish lies, and they will resist what is true. That's an idealistic construction in our own minds to believe that if you tell the truth, everybody gonna be down. Because you know what Paul told you, right? I'm your enemy because I tell you the truth. Well, why were they enemies of the Lord? Because he told them the truth. He said, I come to tell you the truth like Abraham did. Ain't that what he told them? And what they called him? They said he had a devil. And a wine bibber. Said he was a drunk and a glutton. And we know what a glutton is. Y'all remember what a glutton is, right? Huh? No, I'm talking about the Hebrew what it tell you a glutton is. Worthless man. No sinful man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it translates to. It don't translate to what when you see glutton in Proverbs, they talking about somebody being a glutton. Yeah, they ain't talking about an overeater. Because you know that's what they tell you. That's one of the 7 deadly sins. There are no 7 deadly sins. People made that up. But the movie was outstanding. You ever seen that movie? Movie was good. Old, it's old. Late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there. Got Brad Pitt in it. We went to the movies to see it. You know what I'm saying? I forget what they say the 7 deadly sins is. I just know gluttony one of them. Oh, slothful. Stupid is not one of the 7 deadly sins.
No, I would say that's the stupid mentality.
No, I mean these sins are problems now. Though being slothful and being gluttonous is not a sin, but the book speaks against you being slothful. Yeah, pride, lust, envy. Now these are all things that specifically that the book of Proverbs talks about specifically about not doing. You know what I'm saying? But out of all of them, I mean, lust and pride. Well, pride is an abomination. These are just things when you look at that conduct, who ain't pleased with it. Because if you want to look at gluttony, he just told you if you be a man of appetite, put a knife to your throat. But you have to look at it past word. So what? About 98. Sharon said about 98. But when you look at being a glutton, it's it's really go more past eating food. You don't have control over appetites. You don't have control over desires. So you will allow your desires to rule you. When you allow your desires to rule you, then Satan has rule over you. Because he told you that in Romans 6, right? Whoever you lend your member service to obey is to whom you obey. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at that. What you allow to have rule over you dictates who is your master. Is the adversary your master, or is Yahushua your master? Okay, he said it was 96. 96. 2 Timothy 1 and 7. For Elohim have not given unto us the ruach of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be not ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be you a partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of Elohim. Now, y'all know, especially in Psalms, they talk about them afflictions of that gospel quite a bit. But see, we're not talking about the afflictions that you get just for living. We're talking about the afflictions that you'll suffer for the word's sake. Remember what we read in Psalms 119 last night? He said, no matter what affliction I got, I ain't going to forget the word, though. See, the law not going to give you that type of mind to stand because it's not a promise. See, when you look at every person, we have said it so many times, when you look at every person who stood on that word, what caused them to stand? It was what he promised them. That's why they got a good report. And what it said in Hebrews 11, by faith, the elders got a good, you know who Abraham is because of what? And he had a good report based off his act. You know who Jacob is because of what? You know who Isaac is because of what? Yahushua goes without saying. Because if Yahushua ain't had that faith that his father was raising from the dead, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If he would allow his flesh to overpower him and say, I ain't drinking this cup, I'm finna hit it, we finna fight, then we wouldn't be talking about this thing because it was all based off the promise. John 18 and 36. Matter of fact, make it 18 and 33. Sure, make it 18 and 31. The boy. The boy. Hey. 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 John 18, 31. Oh, no. Pop it. You always grab my chain. Why you always grabbing my chain, Eugene? Then Pilate said unto them, take you him and touch him according to your law. Yahudim therefore said unto him, it is not lawful for us to put any man to death. And the saying of Yahushua might be fulfilled which spake, signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Yahushua and said unto him, are you the Malik of the Yahudim? Now look at the Lord answer because it's beautiful. Yahushua answered him, say you this thing of yourself, or did others tell it to you or me? Look what he told him. You saying that on your own, or did somebody tell you? Now, why would you think he would say that to him?
So what?
Huh?
That's it.
Yeah. Did you? Are you saying this because you believe it? Or are you saying this because somebody told you? But remember what he said to Peter. He said, Peter, who do men say that I am? And what did Peter say? He said, you the Mashiach, son of Elohim. And he said, what? Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah. Flesh and blood ain't revealed this to you, but my Father from heaven. So Yahushua trying to see, did the Lord tell it? Did my Father tell you this here? Or did you somebody tell you? But of course, we know somebody told him that. But see, we'll look at that and thinking that that's just a statement, when that's really a statement to see, do you believe or not? Pilate answered, look what his question answered. Am I Yahudi? Nigga, he basically said, nigga, I don't know. That's pretty much what his stance is. I don't know. I ain't one of your people. Your own nation and chief priests have delivered you unto me. What have you done? So now he let you know who told him that. They said you were saying you was a king. He didn't realize that they said, say he said. He said, I wrote what I wrote. Why did he write what he write? Because Elohim put it in his mind and what his thoughts was going to be, that that's what he was going to write. Because whether you believe it or not don't change the fact that he the king of the Yahudim. That don't change that. Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, and I should not be delivered to the Yahudim. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate therefore said unto him, are you a king then? Yahushua answered, you say that I'm a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause I came into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth, hear my voice. You saw what he told him? He said, you say I'm a king. You know what he was telling? I don't need you to tell me if I'm a king or not. I already know that. I already know that. But I'm just letting you know that I was born into this world to be killed and to rise again. And I just need you to know that. And everyone that's of this Amar, they're going to hear what I got to say. And if you're not of that Amar, then you're not going to hear what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's telling me. Because at the end of the day, and I think I mentioned to y'all last night, how many times did this man walk around talking about teaching people the law? How many times did he really walk around doing that? I'm talking about that's recorded. Because you'd have to be stupid to think that he ain't never showed nobody no law at any time.
Well, he did.
No, I'm just saying, no, I'm not talking about like when the dude asked him what commandments I got to keep. Clearly, you knew he knew the law because when he cleansed the leper, what did he tell the leper to go do?
Saying no more.
No, he told him go give an offering to the priest according to the law of Moses as a testimony. So we know he knew the law. I mean, of course, he didn't have to walk around teaching the law to the people like that because they already knew it and were being taught it on a consistent basis, which of course is a little different. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. Well, they were being taught. They did with bucketing. They do. Now I can't even say bucketing because they knew it. How also a point that he knew it because he said the law say honor father and mother, but the scribes say.
That's why I said that.
I mean, if you saying truth, absolutely not. But they were teaching it to him. Allegedly, yeah. Indeed, allegedly, allegedly. Come over here. This is gonna go back to what I got to ask y'all. See, John 18 led me into that, I think.
What y'all doing enough?
The muffin in there with. That's the muffin brigade. My bad, Acts 20. That's what I mean.
Acts 20 verse 4.
So you can pick it up at verse 28 or verse 26, Acts 20 and 26. This will take me back to something else I mentioned the other day too. Acts chapter 20, verse 26. He said, wherefore I take you record this day that I am pure from the blood of all men. For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of Elohim. See, the gospel is the counsel of Elohim. That's why a good report makes the bones fat. It makes you to be prosperous. Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock over which the Ruach HaKadosh hath made you overseers. Feed the house of Elohim, which he hath purchased with his own blood. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them. Therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears. And now, brethren, I commend you to Elohim and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and to give you an inheritance among them which are sanctified. I have coveted no man's silver or gold or apparel. Yea, you yourselves know that these hands have ministered unto my necessities to them that were with me. I have showed you all things, how so that laboring you ought to support the weak and to remember the words of the Lord Yahushua, how he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Now, this is something in my real estate module, and I'm going to ask you this here because it's along them lines. You got two sets of people in life, right? You got givers and you got takers. But see, we're not talking about taking material wealth or material items. Now, I want you to sit back in the recesses of your mind. I'll give you a few moments. Are you a giver or a taker? When we say taker, do you give positivity or do you give negativity? Meaning that when you come, every time that you come, you take all the positive energy up out of people with your negativity, with your complaining, with your wrong perspective. Like I mentioned the other day, like them rain clouds. Just come down and damper on everyone you come across. Because you know why you people have a bad mindset and they negative all the time? They perspective off. And you know why your perspective off? You're not happy with your life. And instead of doing the things necessary to change your life, you would rather just dump all your negativity upon people. See, then you have people who they givers. They like to give information. They like to give positivity. They like to give encouragement. Which one are you? You take your time. Because of course, you know, he's talking about material items here. But at the same token, was not the Lord a giver? Not just a giver of blessings or miracles, but he gave people strength. Because you know, when you take, meaning you drop negative on people, you don't realize you taking their strength from them. Because you suck. What is the two things that he told you not to be? He told you don't be a murderer and a complainer. Because what he said, because Elohim don't like murmurers and complainers. Oh my land. I knew that one. Okay. Call the credit, please. Brother Son say he's been a taker for a lot of times in his life, bringing a lot of negativity.
You know, I caught Charlie Horse late last night in my sleep.
Well, I'm not talking about no Charlie Horse. It's somebody who takes the positivity out of other people by dumping upon them their negativity. Because I know all of y'all probably know somebody, you might have been that person, who every time you talk to somebody, it's always negativity that you bring into them. You don't have anything to give to them of a good nature. Because negative people suck the life out of you. Oh, he done threw you under the bus? Oh, well, is it true? Oh, you plead, you did right. You think you were wilding out. You can't believe it. That's why you laugh. Anybody want to volunteer on that? I can go around the room with it. Shayla says she's a taker. And what do you? Well, I'm talking about go just slow down. Well, what led you? What do you perceive that led you in that direction? Yeah. Well, why you weren't happy? At least you're honest. It certainly ain't. Anybody else want to volunteer?
Yeah, I was saying.
I know you will. You didn't tell me. I know.
Oh, right.
No, nigga, I'm talking about many times you done called my phone complaining. I told you to get off my phone with that crap. Oh, what? That nigga like, bro, you wildin', bro. I just be wanting to vent. Nigga, I don't want to hear this crap.
Like, yo, man, I need to vent.
No, you vent and shoot. Vent to your old lady. Call me, but these white people ain't gonna let us do nothing. If you don't get that scared money off my phone, don't bring no scared money to me. But you are though. But you know why you be that way? Got the wrong perspective.
Yeah.
Every situation that you get in, you see the negative. You don't see how you can overcome it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then when you realize that nobody don't want to hear that crap, you think, ain't nobody there for me. Nobody don't care about me. No, nigga don't want to hear this crap. Nigga, I don't want you to ruin my day. I was having a good day. You know what happens when you take all the time and then nigga see your name on the phone? Nigga don't answer. Right. Nigga don't answer. Because nigga know you ain't got nothing good to say. I don't want to talk to this nigga. I was having a good day too.
Man, this nigga called me talking about all this foolishness. I ain't trying to hear that.
Nigga, hang up.
Hey, bro, I can't talk right now. Oh, man. Yo, all right, bro.
Shoot, now a lot of times it wasn't the case, nigga. I really couldn't know. Nigga, you don't be talking about nothing. I mean, shoot, I don't never know if y'all got an emergency, so I gotta answer the phone.
Call again, I know.
I definitely take no more, man.
I check voicemail. I gotta check voicemail.
I can't.
I do check.
Hey, I need you to look at this one.
Get out of this one. Get out of it. Anybody else?
I said I just check.
Darius said he was a giver. What made you a giver, Darius?
I ain't working. I still is.
Oh man.
Still giving.
You say he's still giving out. And he always got the shortbread.
What you asking?
What made you feel like you was a giver? What allowed you to do you feel like crafted that mindset? Sean said he's a giver.
My grandma, my daddy said she was I just gave off what she gave me.
That's how that works. Would you say that some of the people in your family were negative and that helped breed that for you? I mean, because that does have a case. If people around you who you in your formative years were negative, then 9 times out of 10 you probably gonna be negative too. Sometimes people negative because of their life situation.
I ain't never had a positive around, bro.
I know that, and I understand that.
That's why I was
Sean say sometimes to his detriment. Well, what led you down that road? By nature. What led you down that road? Now, see, now I ain't necessarily about just talking about how you treat people, but that when people talk to you, they know you got something positive to tell them.
I feel like I problem solve. Like I'm a solution-based person, so I feel like I will try to help.
I know for me, I would say, like, I think it kind of comes from understanding, like you said, always having a positive outlook. It's a bigger reason why stuff happens. I feel like if you look at everything, it's a bigger reason why stuff happens. It allows you to look at things more positive. But if you're always looking at, like you said, the negative and stuff, you never really gonna be able to feel off no positive things. There's a lot of negative stuff happening, but if you're not looking to find the positive in it, in your mind, it ain't gonna be nothing good about it.
Indeed. Anybody else? You sitting over there with your hand on you. Scott wasn't even talking about you.
She be ready.
I'm talking about that one right there.
He always ready all day.
the direction you have.
Conscious guilty. You got your notepad out. Who else want to volunteer before I start going around the room? Huh? I what I'm finna do. What's it? You right here. They'll finish this side of the room up. At least you honest. What makes you why you feel like you straddle the line?
Got him.
Ain't nothing to get. I'm just asking you.
Got him.
No, we ain't talking. But I'm not talking about material things.
I know that. I'm talking about whatever.
So you like to give people negativity?
No, I'm not gonna say it.
I ain't talking about ranking.
You said shame.
Shade is not the same thing.
Well, we're going this way. Come on, Monte. What feel like it got you to that point?
Right.
No doubt. What about you, Miss Van Dyke? Allegedly.
I mean, I have an issue like never dump on ugly. I don't call other people.
So that man say you just dump on him every day like you just took some X-Lax.
I'm not that person.
Get down.
And I feel like in my family, in my small family, I'm always the person that he's low to. I have no choice.
You said that like you didn't want to do it.
No, it's just a lot sometimes.
Or you get overwhelmed. I understand. What about you, Kalisha? You both? What makes you believe that you both? Because you ain't lied. You know, you just don't want to share. What about you, Michael? Used to be very negative. Why you think you were negative?
Like I said,
Oh, that would be very accurate. You just felt like you didn't know how to cope with it, so that's why you did that.
yeah. So like my friend she told me to stop and our friendship because she said I don't really talk about anything about my life.
So she was like, "Screw you." Well, that's good. That's good. What about you, Lee? I can see you. You say you feel like you be both? Why is that, Lee? That's a Lee answer. That's just a Lee. So we just gonna let Lee be Lee on now. We're gonna ride the bicycle around the block. I mean, I want you to understand that it's not that you don't ever mention like, oh, I'm going through this or this, that, there, and the third. I'm talking about that's consistently a pattern. That you consistently dump negativity. You know what I'm saying? Not just, oh man, I'm going through this and you tell somebody about it. But that you have a reputation for being a negative person.
Well, let me ask you. What if we didn't have a reputation because everybody I was hanging around with, we all agreed in negativity?
Then you were all negative. Y'all just agreed to be negative together. That's why you didn't see it as an issue to bring negativity to anybody else because that's what the peer group did. So you thought that was normal. No, I'm just saying, and I had told you that before. You around a bunch of people who negative all the time, and then you come with somebody and they be like, bro, I don't want to hear that. You think it's something wrong with them because of who you've been around. And that was definitely limiting to your development. What about you, Callie? You negative because you're pregnant right now? Because they say you be mean when you pregnant. That's what they say. I don't know. Well, I appreciate that. I would not. I would say, don't you speak that evil on her.
Yeah, I kind of, if I have a problem, I try to
I feel you. Why you rolling your eyes? That's that baby in you, see? That baby. Come on, little Johnny.
Oh, you told you was
First line, nigga.
shoot. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, shoot. I take it. That's what parents are doing. Shoot.
Hey, come on, man. I can't keep fooling with y'all. Come on now.
I look at things half full. Like half happy childhood.
Oh, you the happy boy.
Yeah. My cousin, that nigga was institutionalized. He asked me why I was smiling all the time. I need a shot. He was smiling.
For real though, that's how he looked at. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, because usually people who are givers usually have happy childhoods. The people who usually take their childhood usually with negative, so they ain't got nothing to be happy about. You know what I'm saying? So their outlook, I'm telling you, like, if you came in a household like your daddy wasn't there, you were sad about that, or your people on drugs, or somebody cheating on you, then yeah, you're gonna have a negative outlook on life. So when you grow up, you're gonna be negative. But if your childhood, you know, you got to play and you got to smile and this, that, there, and the third, you're gonna tend to be more positive. Yeah, you're gonna tend to be more positive. It's very few people that had a positive childhood that are negative people. Very few. Come on. Period. Somebody dying, somebody leaving, stuff like that. Come on, Monica. You a giver? Clearly, you come over there cleaning that nigga house. Oh, you like to keep stuff to yourself? I understand. What about you, Trey? Are you a giver or a taker? Do you give positivity or do you take positivity by dumping negativity upon people? Just so you know, we do this stuff like this here from time to time. The purpose of it is for you to understand your own mindset. Get a stronger view of yourself. So you get set back and you can look at yourself and look at your experiences and your thought processes. This is how it allows you to improve yourself and to be the best version of yourself. Because if you don't take a step back and look at these things and these thought processes, then you may not, especially if you're not a naturally self-aware person, then you're not going to see where you can be better at. Or you may not see what things have happened to you that are hindering you from being the best version of yourself.
I was thinking like, so I have the first kind of like this. She just when I think of her, I mean, she's negative. She's just negative. So like when I think about people who are negative, she's just self-centered. I think about
Well, I mean, that is negative.
And then accountability too, like you got accountability. So you glad if you're negative, you glad like what did I cause problems? You think about.
That is correct.
Like that's
No, I mean that's correct, because that's a part of it. People who are usually negative are very self-centered and they lack accountability. So they will not look at how they contributed to a situation. It's all as victims that you're a victim. It's constantly his fault, his fault, his fault, his fault. You ain't never did nothing wrong. And that is not conducive to growth. You know what I'm saying? You're going to stay in the same place. And you don't want to play the victim. Because have you been victimized in certain aspects of life? Probably so. You know what I'm saying? But you have to get to the point where you understand what role did I play, especially as a man. You have to look at yourself as a man and say, what did I do to facilitate what went wrong? And what can I do? You have to look at what you can control. If something negative happened to you and it was outside of your control, then you just got to throw your hands up and take it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? But if you had control in the matter, you got to look at it and say, okay, this happened. I did this or I didn't do this. And let me not do that anymore.
I think that what you said, that's a root of why people look at situations from the standpoint of what was unfortunate.
Exactly.
You never looking at it like it was your fault or it was something you could have did. You're never gonna be able to look at it from
I was supposed to take this situation and learn that I was just gonna be a certain cycle of negative stuff when it's not even that negative. You just looking at it.
And it's a level of accountability. Go ahead, Lil Stanley. What you feel like led you down that road?
Like it was like in one house, God, I was like, he's son broke it. He probably do things.
Right.
Like sometimes getting building kind of things down sometimes.
Word.
And I was so I know when I was in high school, you got I had moved if I go on to get away from anybody, so
and there's nothing wrong with that. And the reason also why I mentioned that because what did Mashiach say that he came to do? To serve. So what it means is you to understand the mindset, to have the mind to want to serve, the mind to want to be positive and strengthen people.
See, what I don't like is when people see people being negative, they don't understand why this person is negative.
That's not their point. Listen. Well, no, stop. You talk, no, stop. Because see, what you're doing is you talking about your family.
No,
yes, you is, because you don't have no idea. You don't have that experience with enough people for you to do that. You talking about your experience with your family.
People talk about their first life.
I get that.
But then they want to make.
But again, though, bro.
Don't understand it.
Okay, but you talking about your family.
But then they talk about.
But listen though, but you talking about a specific situation that we just not gonna put it. Who you talking about?
I'm talking about people in general.
Well, people in general don't do that.
They talking about their first life, but then they don't even.
No, you're making a very, very broad situation. But regardless of why somebody negative or not, a lot of people don't want to figure out why you negative. Keep that junk away from me. Because if somebody is not wanting to stop and listen. If somebody is realizing you negative, that means they already dealing with you.
Okay.
Nobody just shuns a negative person away they don't know. If somebody is deeming you negative and is not fooling with you, that means they already know you. Meaning, they probably already told you what to do and what not to do, and you don't listen. So then why does somebody want to keep dealing with you when you want to have a pity party and wallow in self denial and self-loathing? Nobody want to fool with that. Strangers don't do nobody like that. That's got to be somebody you know. That's why I say you talking about your family. Strange people just don't do that there. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna hear him and say, bro, I broke my toe. Oh, that nigga negative. I don't care about this stuff. No. You would have to deal with them consistently. Every time you call me, it's negative this, negative that, negative this, negative that. Nigga put you on the block list, and I don't even block people. That's what people do. What about you, man? What led you down that road? I could go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. She taught me the same. Just gotta suck it up. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Complaining about it ain't gonna. You know what the people like to say? How you doing? I can't complain. Shoot, who gonna listen? Ain't that what people tell you? Who gonna listen? Cause don't nobody want to hear that crap. You know why nobody want to hear that crap? Ain't gonna do nobody no good. Ain't gonna do you no good. Come on, back over here, man. Come over here to come to John 17, I suppose. Like I say, bro, what you talking about, that's too specific. You have to know a person to say it. Because you could say Christ like all you want. Guess what? Did the Lord sit around and listen to negativity? He told you, don't, matter of fact, come on around here. I go ahead and kill that for him real fast. Come on around here to 1 Corinthians 10. We're going ahead and put that to bed right now. We're just going to go ahead and put that to bed, what you talking about. But the Lord don't want to hear murmuring and complaining, all that crying and whatnot. Nobody want to hear that crap. Give me a second, because I ain't got that page in my book. Come on around here to verse 4, 1 Corinthians 10 and 4. Like I said now, and it's been a while since we done one, but it's all for perspective. Because I want you to understand yourself. When you understand yourself, ain't nobody gonna be able to understand how you think better than you can. You know what I'm saying? Unless they have a good, strong grasp on human psychology. Then if you got a strong grasp on human psychology, then all that's taking you back to the what? The strong ought to support the weak. It's okay to say I'm weak right now. How else you gonna get strong? You think I was strong the first day I walked in the gym? I was doing dips and pull-ups in prison. They ain't had no weights. That strength had to get built up over time. What did Yahushua tell Peter to do after he was converted? I mean, so that's just what it is. That's just part of the play. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to be ashamed of. You know what I'm saying? We've been told to be ashamed of a lot of things that we ain't got no business being ashamed of. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, though. Verse 4. And did all drink that same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Mashiach. But with many of them, Elohim was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. So what was he not? Now let's look and see. Now these things were our examples to the intent that we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. Neither be you idolaters as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Mashiach as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur you as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now, what was they murmuring about? We had cucumbers, leeks, and melons. They were complaining. Now, how could he take out people who were complaining unless he had been dealing with them? You're not going to take out somebody who complaining who you don't know. So when somebody say, oh, you, because usually when somebody say you negative, you're a complainer. Meaning you don't want solutions to your problems. You don't want the matter fixed. You just want to complain about it. But don't nobody want to hear that? That sucks the soul out of people. And why would only a selfish, self-centered individual is going to think that a nigga's supposed to sit there and listen to that? Because now you don't ruin my day. And you think, see, you know what a lot of them wicked niggas do? You're supposed to suffer with one another. If one of the body mourn, we all mourn. Ho, nigga, you ain't mourning. You just complaining because you ain't man enough to let your nuts hang and take control of your life. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference if something happened, you going through something. People gonna ride with you. But when it's a situation that you can control, you know what I'm saying? You know what? Every man in here can make any amount of money he want to make. And all it takes is you have the dedication, discipline, and drive to get your lazy behind up and go do what you gotta do. You think somebody gonna come hand you something? You think somebody owe you something? Then that means you got to get out here and do it. But you know what your problem is? You want what you want yesterday. So you ain't looking at it in the form that you plant a seed today and the fruit will bear later on down the line because you're going to have to water it. You're going to have to till it. There ain't no different with that word. So you want the spirit yesterday. No, you got to till. You got to take care of that. You got to till that land. Ain't know what he told you? Didn't he say he ain't had nobody to keep to dress that garden? So guess what he did? What he said, the field was the world, and the seed is the word of Elohim. And that's why he sent men out there, apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, and evangelists. Go ahead and till that ground and cultivate that fruit. So your life is in your own hands. Ain't a white man in this world stop you from getting some money. You know what I'm saying? It's coward talk. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nobody stopping you yourself from getting. You know why you stopping yourself from getting? Because you ain't hungry enough. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want it bad enough. You want somebody to blame instead of take accountability for your life. It's going to take some time, but you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told you before. Okay, if your parents was trash, so be it. But boy, once you get over about 25 years old, nigga, that's all you. That's all you. Especially once you hit 30. That's definitely all. Because we were talking about this other day. You know, you don't really get grown until you're about 30. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't grown in your 20s. You still a child. You think you're grown because you can pull your drawers down and rub your genitals against somebody else's. You know what I'm talking about? Because you could pay a bill or two. You think you're grown, but in the mind, you're still a child. But see, you've been to see. I pay my own bills. I've been on my own since I was such and such years old. I've been having sex a long time. That don't make you grown. You just doing grown people stuff. There's a difference. They started laboring when they were 30 and they retired at 50. Yeah, man. Like, oh, you ain't grown. At one time. And then they dropped it down to 18 because they needed people to sign up. Oh, no. If you were down to fight, you were down to fight. You were just down to fight. It wasn't no, the only age time you see age brought up, because we had kings that were 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? It was just you couldn't work in that temple until you were 30. And then you had a 20-year run. The reason why I say that because you 18 years old, you're not grown. When you're 24 years old, you really just 6 years removed from being in high school carefree. So how are you really grown? You're just an overgrown child. You know what I'm saying? Because unless your life was scripted, meaning your parents planned it out, put you here, put you there, and led you to that particular point the way you can start maximizing the totality of your potential, as a man, you don't really start seeing that till you're 30. You don't really start getting the money you want to get till you're 30. That's why it goes back to why a lot of women get upset when dudes want younger women. Because women in their prime when they're young, and men in their prime when they're older. You know what I'm saying? So the woman, she don't use her body up. You know what I'm talking about? She been letting people beat up and down all in her. She got kids from a whole bunch of dudes. Don't nobody want you no more. But you gonna come to a dude and say he's supposed to lower his value to meet you because you devalue your vagina. You know what I'm saying? You can't devalue you. See, you can't have a 4 for 4 now, and then think somebody finna come through and hold that down. I done told plenty of women this before. It's not that you can't get a man, but if you got a whole bunch of kids from a bunch of different niggas, the chances of you getting a man are smaller. Especially a man of value, because he don't have to deal with you, because he has options. You know what I'm saying? The higher value a man you are, the more options you have. If my money right, I ain't got no kids. Why would I want a chick got 5? But what do women in this society do? A real man, see, that's whole talk. It is, that's whole talk.
I would say like 99.9% that the women say they look for white men.
Oh, well, they don't want no righteous man. Y'all know why they don't want no righteous man. Why a woman don't want no righteous man?
Because she don't.
There's going to be order. There's going to be rule. That's why they say I want a good man. I don't want no righteous man. Because a righteous man going to put up with your crap. Because you know what will happen to you? You'll have too many simp niggas tell you how pretty you are, how fine you are, to get them men. They done lied to you. Then you run across a man and you go to doing that nonsense, and then you wonder why he ain't going for it, and you be like, well, shoot, what's going on? But baby, you must don't know who I am. You better check my resume. I'm a whole man over here. I don't need you. It's 40 hoes ready to take your place right now. And I'm telling it to your face, not behind your back.
No, man. Woo, boy.
He laughing, but the point of the matter is, when you a high value man, you can say that. You can say that. I'm not saying that you should have a whole lot, but you should have you some options if you're not married. Not if you're not in the world. In the world, you should have you some options. Let them know, hey man, I ain't got to do this here. Cause what value you add to my life? You know what I'm talking about? Look here, I can show you. Do I need to show you my mobile banking app? You don't see where I live? Do you see my car? So what makes you think I'm supposed to take you to these places because you got a vagina and you hungry? Do you know what I'm saying? See, you only do that when you are low value and you feel like you have to do that or she'll leave because you can't get another woman. You know what I'm saying? So you put up with stuff you shouldn't be putting up with. But when your value high, you ain't got to do that. And guess what? Women know when you buy. I was looking at that little clip Judah had in that thing talking about when Jada Smith say Will Smith hit her upside the head with a newspaper because she was talking crazy. You could see in her face, she like, I love that nigga. That nigga checked me. Say she was yelling in the house, and she said that nigga walked right up with a newspaper. Ah, bust her right upside her head, told meet me in the room. He said, I watched my daddy punch my mom in the face. I will not allow that in my house. You better get your mind right. I bet he got some coochie that night. I bet he did. I bet he did. Huh? I bet he did. He didn't even have to wait till the evening.
So she said it in the room, it went down.
You know what I'm saying? You got to look at something. Will Smith might be a corny dude, but this man made $20 million a film. That man know he got women or men, allegedly, all around the corner. He got us. And of course, y'all remember that. I mentioned this. Y'all remember when we was dealing with the olive in the top and what it is to be an olive man versus saying an alpha man. An alpha male. You are olive man or the ox or the leader or the strength of the house, and you know your value and your worth. What did Yahushua tell his apostles not to do? If they don't want to listen, do what? Dust your feet off. Because we know our worth. We ain't begging nobody. Because what you won't do, this person will do. Because the work in the gospel is not stopping because you don't want to do it. Because you don't want to hear it. It's not going to stop. Because he understands his value and his work. This is the living Elohim. What I need you for. And see, as a woman, when a woman hear a man don't really need her, oh, that make her want to come on around the corner even more. Because she knows she's going to have to add something to his life to get in it. If she find him attractive. You know it ain't no lie. That be a man. Of course I don't. You know why y'all don't like it? Because why is he not worshiping me? Why is he not going to be broke up over me if I leave him? It worked. That's what y'all want us to do. You want us to be like, say, baby, come back. I love you. I miss you.
Come back to me.
And then when he do it, this whole nigga can't stand this nigga. Then you're going to cheat on him. And tell the nigga about how that nigga was crying back after you. Let me play you the voice, man. That's what y'all do. We know y'all do it. Y'all talking about egotistical. Y'all the egotistical ones. Y'all narcissistic by nature. That's never not funny. It's not, though. It's never not funny. The nigga say, you the dog, man. Nigga, you the dog, man. Oh, man, that junk is hilarious. Oh, that's old Samuel L. Jackson and Bernie Mac. That was the first movie Fat Boy showed me when I got out of prison. Well, that junk was hilarious to me. It's not as hilarious after the first watch, but the first watch, that junk's hilarious. Then after the first watch, you only want to see like 4 or 5 scenes, and you good for the rest of the movie.
So the movie didn't have a high grade.
No. Well, wait, I finished in Acts, right? Come to John 17. Matter of fact, not even John 17, Revelation 3. Then after that, Psalms 119. Yes, ma'am. Matter of fact, we're going to pick it up in Revelation 3 and 14, actually.
14.
Huh? Yeah, I finished with it just to show him about that complaining. They were around. Because what were some of the things they were complaining about? Not having no water, food, bread. We sick of this light bread. You know what I'm saying? Why Moses brought us out here to die? All we got is this light bread. In Egypt, we had cucumbers, leeks, and melons. That's a wicked man's thing to say.
They wanted flesh too.
No, I mean they were complaining because they had the manna and they didn't want the manna no more. He gave them the quails after that, and he slayed them. And they like Arby's, the meats.
That's why I said flesh. You know.
Revelation 3:14.
Yes, sir.
Unto the Malachim of the church of the house of Laodiceans write, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of Elohim. I know your works, that you are neither cold nor hot. I would you were cold or hot. So then because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spit you out of my mouth. Because you say I am rich and increase with goods and have need of nothing, and know not that you are wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. I counsel you to buy me gold tried in the fire, that you may be rich, white raiment that you may be clothed, and that the shame of your nakedness do not appear, and anoint your eyes with eye salve, that you may see. Notice that he told you to buy of him gold tried in the fire. Why is that? Because the gospel is tried in the fire. Would you like to see? Psalms 19. Oh, grandma's in the corner.
You said Psalms 119?
19.
Oh, Psalms 19. Okay.
I think I'm in the wrong place.
You don't need to like sherbet.
Sherbet? I'm in the wrong place. Hold on. Who likes sherbet?
I used to like sherbet.
You look like a nigga named Sherbet.
I look like a
Named Sherbet.
like sherbet.
You look like a nigga named sherbet.
Really. Hey, you look like a nigga named Wally. Get your hair.
Come over here to Psalms 12. That's what I need. Boy, don't do that, boy. That sounds like you was in the family, boy. That nigga's like to see you. Next thing you know, he just waiting for somebody to say, look at, waiting for somebody to do when he come out, he went to the gym. Hercules! Hercules! That's what he waiting for. How much you got a colon cleanse? Psalms 12 and 4, man. Make it 12 and 1. We can read the whole thing. It ain't that long.
I thought you said 19.
You're listening too slow. I'm talking too fast. Psalms 12 and 1. Help, Yahuwah, for the godly man cease, for the faithful fail from among the sons of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor, and with flattering lips, and with a double heart do they speak. And who is that? That's Judas. See how I told you that boy all over the place? You thought he just was in the Gospels. That boy all over the place. That boy was born to be dusty. The Yahuwah shall cut off all flattering lips and the tongue that speak proud things. There go your peace for you and all those who follow. He said, who have said with our tongue we will prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? Who is like unto the beast? Yep. Who gonna reign over me? He ain't gonna reign over me. I don't see no Yahuwah. Yahushahu, for the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy. Now will I arise, saith Yahuwah, and I will set him in safety from him that puff at him. Now, what does that mean? That take you back to Revelation 12, right? Where it said that the serpent would make war with the woman and the remnant of her seed. That had the testimony of Yahushua and keep the instructions of Elohim. Because he said, now I must for the oppression of the poor and the sighing of the needy. See, that takes us back to something we talked about last week. They say, while you are yet praying, he'll do what? Answer. Why are you sighing? When was the first time you read about this people sighing? Because of oppression in Egypt. So what you think gonna be happening during the time of the beast? you're gonna be signed. And he say he gonna come set you at safety. Because we've been talking about stuff with the kingdom for a good 2-3 months, ain't it? So you already know where he gonna set you at. In the city without walls and gates, ain't that right? And you're gonna be chilling. See, that's a promise right there. See, you couldn't get that from the law. See, we just think that's a song. That man telling you what's going down on the last end.
Sign or sign?
Sign. I can give you the actual word. Like I seen somebody, it was Lunell. And when Lunell was talking, all I heard was Deuteronomy 28. We got to come outside and worry about getting killed. We got to worry about this here. And now you think you're a joke. Because he told you you'd be around here sighing and crying and you have no assurity of your life. No rest wherever you go. You're nervous. I heard somebody say black people are the only people that got to look in the rearview and be like, they go to police. That's what happened when you buck your whoop. He ain't lying though, because they know white folks, black men that go to police. They just keep riding. Asian people don't do that. Arabs ain't worried about to go to police. They were worried about the feds. They wouldn't even worry about the police. They were worrying about their Karens and Joes calling them.
Now when you got that stuff right,
it's not about having the stuff right. It's about the intrinsic fear that the average person, quote unquote, black person in this country has of the authority of Caucasian people in America. It ain't about having you, bro. You got black people who got their stuff together and still get nervous when they see police. Nigga, come on, bro. There's a term called driving while black. Like people be nervous. It's only the bold that be like, man, scooting right. Sure will. I definitely sit out there all night. And you know why I'm gonna sit out there all night? Because I want you to feel like the jackass you are. Because you thought I had some dope because I sold dope in 2004. Nigga, it's 2015. It's 2020. I'm just saying though, I got pulled over a time or two. Nigga, I got pulled over by one of the vice officers who knocked me off. Real time, I forgot where I was coming from. They pulled me off right over there on Cassidy. The lady walked to the car. She said, "Oh, I remember you. I was on your case." Thank you, ho. She said, "Right." Because I feel like Boosie, nigga, I don't fool with the police. You know what I'm saying? She was like, "I'm glad I see you got your life together." I don't want to hear that crap.
She was proud of you.
I don't know. What's she proud of me for? She don't know me.
I mean, she saw that she had a case and she was like, you know what? This guy sold so much drugs, now he's doing good with his life.
I don't need you to be proud of me. Straight up. I'm glad you tagged it late, man. Look here, man. I don't want to hear all that. I'm not going to write you a ticket. You shouldn't have stopped me no way. You only stopped because you talking about why you turned out here like that. There wasn't no car coming. You were driving slow. Now you want to speed up. What I'm supposed to sit at the stop sign, Bell? No, I'll cut people off.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And we'll be cutting off too.
Well, you know, this nigga, he a scary driver.
No, we'll be cutting off.
Hit them brakes. Come on, man. Psalm 12, man. Verse 6. The words of Yahuwah are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. What does that mean? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know. He got tried by 7 abominations. You familiar with that? I'm talking about the Proverbs 24 and 16. The just man falling 7 times. So you know the 7 abominations that he fell in. That's the 7, or because that word "fall" means murder. So when they say a just man is murdered 7 times, also you got a proverb like 26, like 23. It say if a man come with flattering words, don't believe him, because 7 abominations are in his heart, which is those 7 abominations in Proverbs 6. Then it's those 6 is tried in the furnace of the earth and purified 7 times. We're purified from those 7 troubles. The proud look, the evil imaginations, the shedding of innocent blood, the discord among brethren. Yeah, no, that's why I was asking. So, see, everything we look at, see, we start every time with that John 5:39, because that's what we witness to what happened to him in the gospel. So when we can look in the Old Testament and see that, and we know he the one the Father sent. And therefore our trust and hope can be that he is the one who redeemed us for our sins, who believe on his name according as the scripture has said, and serve him accordingly to receive the gift of life from the Ruach and be counted worthy to enter in the gates. So when you look at that being purified 7 times, and we finna grab this word real quick, purified, I believe I know what it is already. You already know tahor is for clean, and it was just like I had no. We're gonna deal with purified first. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And that is the zakat, right? It's to purify or to refine. You got zayin and 2 kuts. So I put it to you this way, right? Something was in my mind that just came out. The children just distracted. Give me a moment, it'll come back, y'all. Okay, boom. You know in Isaiah 52, right? He said he tried you in the furnace of affliction. Remember remember John the Baptist, stated what? That I came and baptized you with water, but it's one coming behind me that will baptize you with fire and the Ruach, because you're going to have to be refined. Then we just read where he say, I counsel of you to buy gold and meat tried what? In the fire. So he said the word is like silver taken in the fire. Because if you take gold and silver, you're taking it in the fire to do what? To get the impurities out. So he went through the fire to get the impurities out of you. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have no impurities. All he went through the fire was to purge the flesh off and put the Ruach back on, which he already had, so he could give it to you. You understand what I'm saying? So when it's going through that fire 7 times, that takes us back to don't be ashamed and be a partaker of the afflictions of the gospel. Don't be ashamed and go ahead and partake in somebody having a proud look against you, somebody showing strife and contention. Go ahead and be a partaker of that, because your Savior was a partaker of that. And he was made alive because of it. Remember, he said, right from henceforth, blessed are they who die in the Lord from henceforth and forever, and their works do follow them. Yeah, brothers do throw out the New Testament and don't know what they missing. But that's their fault. But you got to understand, you can only know what he gives. He said, no man can come to the Father, come together and list like this here. Elohim only want to serve you if you want to serve him. You ever been to a doggone store and they got the sign on the door that say we have the right to refuse service? Well, shoot, Yahuwah said, I got the right to refuse service. I don't have to serve him. But see, that flies in the face of what we feel like an all-encompassing deity is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But he never said he was like that. He never said that. That's how your idols is, which you made out of your own mind and on your own hand. But he never said he was like that. Not one time has he ever said that. I don't fool with you. Why you don't fool with me? Because I don't want to. It is what it is. Gonna be what it's gonna be. What y'all got for me with that Zayin and double coops? Yes, you do. Double coop.
What that word?
Purified. Purified. Distill, strain, refine, purge. Final light is fruitful. That last light fruitful? The last light. Because that last light did the final office. Off harvest, the final harvest. Because if you've been refined, you're going to be part of that final harvest. He talked about that in Matthew 13, did he not? No? That's nice.
That's nice.
That summer fruit. You know about that summer fruit. Now I want you to look at tried. It's a word y'all know. It's a rock, right? It's to refine and to test, right? You got your Sod, you got your Rosh, and you got your Pay. We done dealt with that word before. Y'all know it. You know it, don't you, Nisha? You better know it. So, what? Who? You like Cracker Jacks on Wednesdays. Sod, Rosh, and Pay. Sarah. That's the word for try. Pride. And of course, furnace is Alel. And that's Ayin, Lamad, Yad, and Lamad. So you would know the shepherd's teaching and you would do the work. If you're gonna get in that furnace. What did Yahushua teach you? What's the number one thing that he taught you? What did he tell you? If you don't do this, you can't be his disciple. You got to take up that stake. So what he taught you to come get in the furnace. That's what he taught you to do. You know that the shepherd taught you to do that work, and he taught you to come get in this furnace with me. Didn't the writer of the epistle say, come out there and suffer outside the camp? Ain't in the furnace with the boy. Go and jump on in there. That's what I taught you to do. What you worried for? Ain't nothing but a little flame. Can't be scared to jump in there. Can't have no fear to jump in there. You know why you got fear to jump in there? Because you don't believe you're going to wake up. You got to know he's going to raise. Did he raise? If you believe he raised the Lord from the dead, then why wouldn't he raise you? If you followed the same pattern. Ain't that the proper question? That's what got to be asked. Because people don't believe in you. And you know what a lot of people get frustrated at? Because other people don't believe. That's why you would tell you that earlier. One thing I ain't never cared about in life is what other people do. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how other people talk. I don't care what other people listen to. I don't care how other people dress. It means absolutely nothing to me. Because I'm going to do me. Because I can't be influenced. I don't want to be like everybody else. The minute you had a mindset that you want to be like everybody else is the minute that you'll follow everybody else to your own destruction. See, now when we were listening to this Dame Dad podcast, it was funny, right? He was talking about the time he made Cameron the vice president at Rockefeller. And you know what Dame said? Dame said, I had to leave all them niggas alone because I realized they were stupid. And you know what he said? He made them realize they were stupid because they were calling him talking about, so Cam a VP? He said, but nigga, you a VP too? He said, don't you got your own label? Yeah, then you a VP. He said the fact that he had to take these niggas' calls and explain this to them, he said, I know they stupid. I don't want to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Now, the average person will look at that and say, that's arrogant. Or this, that, there, and the third, because he was doing something contrary to everyone in the business that he was in. He wasn't looking at it, I'm going to make money off of you. I got this. I'm going to give you this here up under our umbrella. You can eat. Put your niggas on. I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one. Because you know what happens? If I fall off, I get a little bit of money from you. I get a little bit of money from you. I get a little bit of money from you. I'm back on. We keep it moving. Niggas didn't understand that. You know why niggas don't understand that? Because you want somebody to tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody to tell you what to do. And since you want somebody, and at the end of the day, that's empowerment. That's empowerment to make you a man, a ruler of your own kingdom. I don't need to rule over you. At the end of the day, Yahushua rule over everyone. But he wants you to have the ability to be a man, get you a wife, have you some kids, rule over your house. When you come to the assembly, that man is the head of that house. He rules over this house. He gives you the ability to go back and get the information so you can rule over your own house. That's how that works. And guess what? That man who's ruling over this house, where the word disseminates from, is no greater than the man who's ruling over his own home, or his own home, or his own home, or his own home. Because the man who ruled over the house of Elohim ain't ruling over your home. He's trying to give you the ability for you to rule over your own home. You know what I'm saying? But what ends up happening with most rules, they want another man to tell them what to do. Not give me the tools so I can do it myself. Tell me what to do. Some people need that. But as a man, you should desire someone to assist you, to empower you to rule over yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's what the purpose of coming together for the hearing of the word is for. So you can be strong to, number one, rule over yourself. Not just your household, but yourself. And then rule over your household. You know what I'm saying? And when you run across, you see a lot of people stupid, and it's frustrating. See, people being stupid is not frustrating when you're used to. You know what I'm saying? It's only frustrating when you don't think like how other people think. Because they look at you crazy. When you trying to tell them something that's going to be beneficial for them. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, right? They look at all the prophets crazy, didn't they? People are talking crazy. They looked at the Lord, he talking crazy. Whole time, if you pay attention to the gospel, he was trying to empower you. What did we just read last night in John 1 and 12? And he gave them power to become what? Of those who believed on their name. So he was trying to empower you. You couldn't see it because you looked at empowerment as being free from the obedience of someone that is greater than you. See, you looked at empowerment as, I don't need you anymore. See, that's how the scribes looked at it. If we let him do what he do, we're going to lose our place in the nation. Now realizing you was going to get 100 times more power than you could have ever imagined if you would have rolled with him versus rolling with them. Because you were looking at the temporary. See, that's what? Word. That's the sign of a two-dimensional mind. You're not looking long term. You can't look at instant gratification. See, they look at instant gratification. See, that child, if you cut that stove on, they're not going to know that stove high. And you can tell them it's high over and over and over again. The only way they're going to learn is they're going to have to put their hand on that stove and burn it themselves. And see, that's why I say you can't see. We always say we grown, but I done told you this before. You still kids in the eyesight of Elohim. Well, let me not say kids, because none of y'all ain't no ghosts. You still the sons and daughters of Elohim in his eyesight, because you operate like a child, even though you think you grown. When he look at you. You know what I'm saying? And he trying to help you get to maturity so that you can be a full-fledged, functional adult. How many of y'all feel like your upbringing bred you to be functional? You know what I'm saying? So now sit back and think about that conundrum. You know your upbringing wasn't breeding you to be functional, but you think you grown. Now, how do these two dichotomies meet and actually make sense? Do you understand that if you know deep down that your upbringing didn't lead you to be functional, how difficult of a time you're going to have to actually be grown? Because you behind the 8 ball, but your pride will not allow you to acknowledge that not only are you immature, but you have the mind of a child. That's why I be telling y'all that it's important that if you know your people didn't raise you to be functional, you have the opportunity to reverse that with your own offspring. You have the opportunity to reverse that, and you can't take that for granted. Because see, I done told all you this here. Most of y'all, that clearly that shit has said with all these seedlings in this room. But once you decide that you want to get married and have kids, you done signed up for that. Nobody don't care what you want to do. If you want to party and boogie hard, nigga, you should have stayed single. Because now you done signed up for a sacred responsibility. So if you done signed up for that sacred responsibility, then treat it as such. Treat it as such. You know what I'm saying? You got to treat it as such. Who cares you want to watch movies and hang out and do this, that, and the third? That man there has to grow up and be able to keep your bloodline clean. You know what I'm saying? If he don't grow up and keep your bloodline clean, then you done failed not only him, but your great-great-great-grandchildren. And they going to sit back and look at, yeah, great-great-granddaddy was a dummy. You want them talking about you like that? You know what I'm saying? Just how you said, they talking about, boy, my daddy, that little good nigga ain't teach me that. You don't want them talking your kids talking about you like that. Dead or alive. You don't want them talking to you about like that. I ain't being funny. Like just to hear him say that. Boy, some of y'all done thought that in your mind. Boy, my daddy ain't about nothing. Boy, I don't fool with that nigga right there. Well, you don't want your son to say that about you. You don't want your daughter to say that. You don't want your daughter to grow up and be a whore because you ain't do your job. If she grew up and be a whore, she gonna be a whore off her own strength. And that's when you kick her bald-headed behind right out that front door and say you can slut somewhere else. But you're not gonna slut here. Straight up and down. You can slut somewhere, you ain't gonna slut here. But we raised you better than that. I don't know what you got going on. When you look your wife in the face, you show that's fine. That's just your people stuff. That's what that is. I came from your DNA. Ain't come from. I don't know. I got a cousin. She was a little loose, so I don't know. It could have been me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just not being funny now. In that serious though, you have to do that because we know generations before us have failed us, and you only know what you know. But y'all know the words of Elohim, so don't take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? Don't take that for granted. But guess what? There's a lot of young boys in here. Y'all got a lot of children. I think we got more girls than boys in here, though. I think we got. Woo! I don't know. We don't know what Cali dropping. I want to do the old nigga with. Lee, what you have? Oh, Lee don't know. You don't know what you have either, do. I don't know. You 2 for 2, so you might go ahead with that 3-pack and drop it the right boy special. Go ahead, keep that bloodline strong. She like, nah, I want a girl so I can do her hair. That's how you look at it. I want to do her hair. I can't do his hair. All I can do is take him to the barbershop. Look at my pretty son. We don't know because we don't know. We only know what y'all have. See, because you got the mismatch. He got 4 too. Yeah, I'm saying he got 4 too. So that's 7-3. That's 7 girls and 3 boys right now. Okay, the Glovers got what? They got 3. They got what? 3-1. So now that's 8-4. So yeah, now you said that's 4. So that's 8-4. So now it's 8-8. 8-8. Oh yeah, that's 10-8. That's 10-8. That's 10-10. It's even for now. Everybody here too, right? Yeah, it's even. Yeah, because we got 4 kids coming. We already counted Joe, so we got 3 more. Oh, so it's even enough for y'all to match your churn up and all this. That you can raise your churn right for somebody that I don't want your home. Man, no, you can't give your son to my daughter. That nigga said, y'all gonna auction off my children like this? So live. Johnny said he already scoped. Not boys. What was that? Psalms 12?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't want it that more. We're good on that. Come over here to Psalm 66. Psalm 66 and 5. That boy say ain't none of them going first. Matter of fact, just make it 1. 66 and 1. We're gonna get ready to wrap this up. We won't get Psalms 119 today. Shoot, y'all supposed to already be plotting and planning that long.
Like you said, you don't look about time. Look, that's the issue. I be upset right now.
He's scouting.
Too young. I see.
Christian looking like this here. I don't know what they talking about. He don't know. Your wife in the room, boy. Psalm 66 and 1. Make a joyful noise unto Elohim. I ain't even getting the grace and truth today, but we'll get that next week, y'all with us. All you lands, sing forth the honor of his name. Make his praise esteemed. Say unto your enemies, submit themselves unto you. All the earth shall worship you. They shall sing unto you. They shall sing to your name, Selah. Come and see the works of Elohim. He is terrible in his doings towards the sons of men. What does that mean? You remember what that word terrible means? Just do some great works. Great works. He turned the sea into dry land. They went through the flood on foot. There did we rejoice in him. He ruled by his power forever. His eyes behold the nations. Let not the rebellious exalt themselves. Say, "La." See, look what he told you. You want to rebel? He said, silence. Fuck that lip. Sit. Boy, I'll take your chain, boy. You want me to take your chain? Bless all Elohim, you people, and make the voice of praise to be heard, which hold our soul in light and suffer not our feet to be moved. For you, Elohim, have proved us. You have tried us as silver is tried. Before you who accept anybody, he got to take you through. He got to try you first. Now, let me ask you this here, just to be quick. How did he try Abraham?
Leaving his house.
Leaving his house. Trying his son. How did he try Isaac? With the wife. How did he try Jacob? Yeah, that's what Jacob. But see, Isaac's a little small. It's there though. How did he try Isaac? There was a family with Isaac, but it's something else how he tried Isaac.
After what Esau.
That too, but that ain't the one I'm thinking about. Isaac went through the same thing. Isaac went through the same thing Abraham went through. With his wife. They gonna kill me for my wife. Tell him you my sister. Let me think of somebody else. Job is that's self-explanatory. How did he try Mordecai? Well, buddy hating on him. What did Mordecai refuse to do?
Bows me down.
Refused to humble himself, and he was tried in his response to that. Because what did he instruct Esther to do? And the fast. So in the end, he relied strictly on Elohim the whole time. How was Daniel tried outside of the lion's den? That was the lion's den. Good. That's how he got in the lion's den. The king's meat. That king. He was moving in groups. You know what I'm saying? Joseph, that's self-explanatory. I'm mentioning this here because every righteous person you can think of, they were tried in some form or fashion. Consistent. I'm trying to think of somebody else. Bear with me. David is self-explanatory. Solomon ain't have no trying going on. Solomon had a lot of peace. You know what I'm saying? How was Hezekiah tried?
Well, was Solomon still tried with all those?
That wasn't no try.
It's just the fact that his story, the whole story, that ain't right.
Yeah, but see, you know,
I'm looking at the number and I'm looking at
who, Moses?
Like,
oh, David was tried several times. He was tried just dealing with Saul.
What was in his house?
He was tried just dealing with Saul. I mean, I'm honest with you. David was tried with Goliath because he had the faith to take him down when everybody else was scared. But everybody else was scared, and he was just a shepherd boy. How was Hezekiah tried? That, but was something else though. When he was sick.
Yeah, he was sick.
What did he go do? He's went straight to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think who else. Who else I got? Definitely. I'm trying to think. I got one more, man. I got one more. Yahusha, that's self-explanatory. Paul, that's self-explanatory. You seen that with Peter them when they went through what they went through. If you gonna come through, he said, look what he said, right? You have proved us. Let's look at proof. Looking for snacks. Now you got proof, right? That's con, right? Ba, ka, and noon. You can go ahead with it. It's to test the heart of man. Ba, ka, and noon. Ba, ka, and noon. What does bot mean, Stanks? House. What does cot mean, Stanks? Yes. Wall. What does noon mean, Muff? Very good. Very good. Yeah, pretty much. Sun separates the light. That's how you get examined. That's how you get tried. That's when you turn around and you look at it, right? Yahushua went through that furnace of fire, and he came out pure on the other side. But when he resurrected from the dead, what did he say? A spirit don't have flesh and bones as you see me have. But you know what? When we look at that going through that fire, and then you getting that gold, this is how this good report makes the bones rich. But in when he said, come back to Proverbs 15 so you can see the word for good report. Because we're going to pick it up on good report, y'all willing, on Wednesday. There you go. Look, mine. Well, y'all know good is two. But Shuma, y'all remember Shuma? That's the word for news or tidings. Sean, me, ooh, Ayin, and hey. So Mike, you been behaving yourself? Why not? You been smoking a little marijuana? You had you a marijuana? Why you ain't been behaving, cuz?
No.
Come here. Ain't nobody finna hit you, cuz. Relax. Why you ain't been behaving, cuz? You just was not behaving? Why do you bring so much grief to your mother's heart? I mean, you make your mommy sad when you don't obey. It makes her sad. Yes, it does. It saddens my soul weekly that you tell me that you don't obey. I don't understand why you do participate in so much folly. Do you like being in folly? Clearly you do. You seem to enjoy it. You revel in it. That means you like to roll around in stupidity. Do you like to roll in stupidity? But you like to commit folly. Are you a wise boy? Why aren't you a wise boy? No, you answer correctly. You're not a wise boy because you don't choose to do what's right. You would be a wise boy because you choose to do what's right. If you choose to do what's wrong, that makes you an unwise child. But you like to stay an unwise child. Then you would need to obey so you can be a wise child. Go sit with your parental notes.
I was wrong with that.
All right, what y'all got with that? Sean, me, ooh, Ayin, and hey. I can tell you that you can see how the blood of Yahushua was consumed. Therefore, you could be able to be secure that you know Yahushua. Because at the end of the day, him being sacrificed was what allowed you to know him. What is his final statement in John 17, right? He said, God's Father, they what? No, they have not known you. He said, but I have known you, and I have declared your name and will declare it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point. When the good news comes, that's why you got the ayin in there, for you to know or for you to see. You can see the man with raised arms, because you can see how he was consumed or how his innocent blood was consumed. However you want to look at it, you heard that good news because you heard news that a man was going to die for the redemption of the people. What did Capheus prophesy when the people say we got to kill him? He said, y'all don't know what y'all talking about? Don't you know it's expedient that somebody die for this people, that the whole nation perish not? This expedient, this must happen. This must happen. If it don't happen, your sins remain. And if your sins remain, you remain separated from Elohim. And if you separated from Elohim, how can you have life in that instance? Without Elohim, do you have life? Absolutely not. Because if he take his breath out your lungs right now, we taking you to the medical examiner's office. You know what I'm talking about? So if you don't have his ruach in you as far as the gift of life, then when it's time to wake up on that last day, he's gonna take you to the valley of Tophet. You're not gonna walk through one of them 12 gates into that city. He's gonna take you to the valley of Tophet. And at that particular juncture, why would you want to go to Tophet? Because at the end of the day, the choice is yours. You can either choose to enter into one of them 12 gates, you can choose to enter into Tophet. Because he said on the left hand are the goats, and on the right hand are the sheep. And the sheep are going to enter into the kingdom that that his father has prepared from the foundation of the world, and the goats are going into the lake of fire prepared for the devil and his angels. You know what I'm saying? And all of that comes down to one particular thing. If you're you're going through some fire regardless. You can either go through the fire of Tophet or you can go through the furnace of affliction. So why not just go through the furnace of affliction, which has temporary discomfort, versus going through the valley of Tophet, which will have eternal discomfort? You know what I'm saying? That's how you have to look at it. Because you're going through the fire regardless. You're going to go through it regardless. So just go through the temporary. Son, what you want? But we'll say hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. We'll stop. What, the word for report? What, Psalm 119?
John 17.
Oh, that's John 17. Hey, I bless y'all out the house of you who in the name of Yahushua, man. I appreciate y'all. We still got a lot more to roll through. Talking about this good old report. Prayerfully, we get some more understanding as time go by. Understanding the goodness of the report. Understanding going through that furnace and that trying. I wanted to incorporate Psalms 119 in today, but who are willing, I'll try to incorporate that in for those of you who are not familiar with the Aleph in the top. So as we did last night, you can see how those verses relate to that particular character in that division of Psalms, and that you can learn that division of Psalms at the same time. But again, blessings out the house of y'all, name of Yahushua. I appreciate you. You are willing to the next time. Abba, your bones are strong, Abba.